Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Love Your Love Muscle. I'm Seb, the founder of the Transformational Meditation Group. Good to see you. Welcome back in nature for our bi-weekly podcast. Well, it's not so long a bi-weekly anymore because we had a little break last week, but we're starting up again. Sometimes things get in the way and better to not stress too much and just skip a week and start up again a week later. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed our last session with Christina, a longer interview about relationships and how mental health and social media and everything like that plays a role in that. A very interesting interview with a great lady that knows a lot about relationships and spirituality and a lot of Buddhist practice as well. So you will hear, if you haven't listened to that episode, if you go and listen, you will hear a lot about that, a combination of those things. So, yeah. I was debating with myself what to do as a theme today. And I was a bit pondering about a study I published, but I found a study that I published in our knowledge base on Patreon. As you know, we have a knowledge base with studies, videos, interviews, documentaries, everything that has to do with heart-based living, meditation, mindfulness, self-regulation techniques, mental health. But it's a treasure trove for everything related to what we talk about in these podcasts, my workshops, courses, etc. So yeah, go and find it. But that article I published there was about a larger study that looked at hundreds of different studies about mindfulness, meditation, self-regulation techniques and mental health. And the conclusion was that it's a good practice. Meditation is very nice, very good as a additional practice alongside. If you have trouble with mental health, you go to your mental health expert. Doing meditation alongside that is of benefit. And in fact, I have some psychologists joining my group sessions now and then. It's always great fun. They use these techniques themselves as well in their practice. So it's not only medication they prescribe. So yeah, it's they're getting more and more interested in how we do things in our community and help people getting better. Getting a better understanding of their lives, their role in life, and to be happy, well-functioning member of society, which we sometimes think might be a bit worrisome, especially when you look at now with the football going on again, the soccer. For those that are in the US, it's called soccer. It's football for us Europeans. You see the hooligans, the people going on the street rioting. I mean, it's a weird situation. I'm a Formula One fan myself. I love sports. I've been a water polo player for many years. Enjoyed it very much. And also I like to watch Formula One. Don't put me in a car because I will crash. But the difference between mentality between football supporters and Formula One supporters, for example, is enormous. Last time I was live at a race was in Hungary, in Budapest, and there you sit amongst people that are supporting different drivers, and we applaud each other's drivers and we have fun, and people wave their flags. There are grandmothers with grandchildren, grandparents. There are families, there are babies even. And it's a jolly mix of fantastic people that have come there to enjoy the spirit of sport and Formula One, which is weird. I always thought, why are Formula One fans able to behave themselves and have a good time with each other, even with alcohol involved? and you can have such a great mix of people there, and it's just a show. It's a beautiful thing to be a part of. Why is it so different from football supporters? It's amazing that you can't behave and that you can't be happy for the other team that's not your team to score a goal sometimes. Of course, it's not what you come to see, but still, it's a good thing they managed to score some goals well, right? But yeah, it's just the way we see things, the perspective we have on things, I guess. Going back to these psychologists coming to my workshops and group meditations, they're very interested in my talks about the nature of reality, how we interpret reality with our brain. It's this a very scientific way of explaining it, which of course they like a lot. And I think in this session today we are going to focus on that. I'm going to guide you through a meditation where we will shut off some of our senses, of course our eyes, we close our eyes. But we will talk about how we interpret reality. What is reality based on? What does it consist of? And why do things look the way they are? Why do we hear things the way we hear? So, yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting session. So I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to give you a view of nature and reality as the camera interprets it, and the screen shows it to you, and how you will interpret it when it is being processed by your brain and enters your mind. So yeah, let's go and get started, right? Enjoy the session. This will be a nice one. All right, everyone. Welcome to this beautiful scenery. And enjoy the view for those that are watching live or Patreon supporters watching the recording. Enjoy the sounds as well. And to those that are listening in through the audio podcast or audio recording, enjoy the sounds, the birds, the water, maybe a little bit of wind now and then. It's all part of nature. It's all part of reality. And let's go further into reality, what it's about, what it consists of. So take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Lower your shoulders, loosen your jaw, and try to relax as much as possible. Find a good position, feel that you're getting centered. And again, take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. Getting settled, slowing down. Now breathe calmly and deeply. Calm, nice, deep breaths. And with every exhale, calm down even more. Relax even more. Get centered even more. If you want to, you can close your eyes, or you can look out over the landscape or find a point that you want to focus on with your eyes. Continue with those calm, deep breaths. And notice where in your body you feel your breath the most. Maybe you feel your breath the most in your nostrils, the back of your throat. Maybe you feel your breath the most in your chest or in your tummy. Notice where in your body you feel your breath the most. Now move that focus point into your heart space. Become more aware of your heart space. And imagine, just imagine, that you are breathing through your heart. Nice, calm, deep breaths where you let the air go in and out of your chest area through your heart. Let's start with reality and the understanding that everything is built up in reality out of energy. This is known since the early 1920s. Everything is energy. Also, physical things consist of energy, vibrating on a level, on a frequency and amplitude that we interpret as a physical object, but is still built up out of energy. And our heart can sense energy. Our heart is a radio transmitter and receiver. The organ, our heart, is electric. It's a muscle. We can measure the electrical signals coming from the heart. And therefore the heart also emits an electromagnetic field. And like everything else that lives, everything that lives emits an electromagnetic field. Even the earth, due to the movement of its core and the outer layers of the earth, emits an electromagnetic field. And every electromagnetic field has information. Information from our heart is all about our feelings and emotions. Our state of being is encoded in that field every time. And as we change our state of being, our heart rhythm variation changes, and the information in the heart's electromagnetic field changes. It gets picked up by other living beings, and of course, other human beings. So we influence each other with our electromagnetic fields. The earth influences us with its electromagnetic fields. And we, if we are a big enough group, can even influence the earth's electromagnetic field. Energy is information. Remember this. This is important. Continue breathing through your heart. Imagine the electromagnetic field of your heart expanding with each breath, becoming more aware of its surroundings. Incorporate as much as you can inside your heart's electromagnetic field. Sense it. Feel it. Become more part of it. Feel the distance between you and your surroundings and nature disappear. You're part of it. You're in the middle of it. You're an integrated whole of it. Now, if you haven't closed your eyes yet, do this now for a moment. And let's focus on sound. Listen to the sounds around you in your headphones or from your device for a moment. Can you hear the water, a slight breeze, the sound of a boat motor in the distance, a bird now and then, the sound of my voice, and if it's really quiet, you sometimes can hear the sound of your own body, your intestines, your breathing, your blood running through your veins, your heart pumping. Sound is a wave of energy going through the air. It reaches your ears, where it gets turned into an electric signal. And electric signals have information that our brain can interpret. And all these different frequencies and amplitudes and volumes, the direction where the sound is coming from, it's all processed by our brain, and our mind makes logical assumptions based on it. We distinguish different sounds as belonging to an animal, a human being, a liquid, machinery. In this way, we form a picture in our mind based on sound of reality. And can you imagine that a dog, for example, has different hearing capabilities? They can hear sound with a higher pitch than we do. So their reality, the reality of a dog, is different. A dog listens from a whole different perspective. A dog can hear high-pitched sounds. So a dog's reality based on sound is broader, more enriched than our reality. What you can't hear will never become part of your reality, even if it's there. Now let that sink in for a moment. Now open your eyes. Keep breathing through your heart. Just gently open your eyes and look out over the landscape or on your screen, on your device or in your room. What you see is energy. It's light coming from the sun, reflecting on surfaces, giving different colors, different hues. And that light consists of small photons, packages with energy that hits our eye, our lens, our retina. And our eye converts this again to electric signals with information that go to our brain to be processed. And from that information, our brain creates a picture, a video that it feeds to our mind. And we try to make sense of everything we see based on what we've learned, our history, our culture. And the same, of course, is also for our hearing. This whole video, this whole movie that we interpret is just part of reality. But it's our reality, the way we see it. Some people have excellent eyesight, others not. Some people are colorblind, others not. And just like with our hearing, we therefore, each and every one of us has a different version of reality. We experience reality in different ways. And based on our cultural background, our upbringing, our genetic memory even, we see reality from different perspectives. We experience reality from different perspectives. Now let that sink in. Breathe through your heart and let that sink in. Breathe through your heart, sense your surroundings. Be fully present in your version of reality. Alright, breathe normally again. Wiggle with your fingers and toes. Slowly move your body back and forth. And if you had your eyes closed again, you can open them now, softly and gently. This concludes this short meditation session. I'll see you back in a few seconds. Welcome back. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. So, quite a session, right? And I hope, even if you had your eyes closed, that it opened some eyes. You can interpret it any way you want. But yeah, in today's world, in today's situation, especially here in Europe, in the West, with our wise politicians, European leaders, and that includes Russia, because Russia is a part of Europe. We shouldn't forget that. Just saying that. He's pro-Russian. I already can think about some people thinking that. I'm not pro anything, I'm not against anything either. Why not? Because as you might know now, each and every one of us, also our leaders, have their version of reality. Reality according to them. And shouldn't it be, and I hope that after this session you recognize that our goal should be to perceive the widest, broadest, most intense, or not intense, but the most rich version of reality we can get. Because if we ourselves interpreted reality, we see it from one perspective, which is a limited version of reality. It can be beautiful, it can be wonderful, it can be the right thing for you, but it doesn't have to be the right thing for somebody else. Shouldn't we get that perspective and reality, that information of how somebody else sees reality or interprets reality? Shouldn't we exchange that information and that way enrich each other? Help each other understand our perspectives. And if we can't do this in a normal behaved way, like adults teach their kids, but don't practice themselves sometimes, shouldn't that be the goal, to be more enriched, to listen to each other, to try to understand each other's version of reality, to make concessions, to understand that another version of reality is also for you preferable. Hey, I like the way you look at this. I find that interesting. Right? Isn't that our goal? Instead of screaming out, "You're threatening me," "I'm defending myself," and all that sort of thing. Why should we threat each other? Why should we be threatening against each other? Why are we afraid of other people's perspective and viewpoints? It goes every way. I don't say that this country or this European leader is correct and this European leader is false. We all have our viewpoints. And together we should come to a conclusion and also determine together what reality we want to live in. And to say it that way, if our European leaders are wise people and listen to this, they of course already know this. And then you can think like, okay, let's assume our leaders are knowing all this. They know that their perspective might be wrong, might be right. And they know they should take into account other people's perspectives and other countries' perspectives, other cultures, their perspectives as well. And there should be a dialogue there. There should be a total enrichment of reality, the understanding of reality, the world we want to live in. So assuming they know all this, they are wise beyond their words, it almost makes you think that everything that's going on now, in Europe especially, and for a part in the Middle East for some time now, is a willing action. It's like there's a need to be mean to each other. I myself am not wise enough to understand that. And maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you and me and all the other people listening, we are the wise ones. Who knows? Maybe our leaders are truly stupid. Maybe our leaders are truly on the level of the average kindergarten child, and even below that. I find it hard to accept that that is true. But I leave that onto you and your perspective. I'm looking at a beautiful ship coming by. And it's too late to show it to you now. And that ship is part of my reality, and you can only listen to the motor sound of the engines of the ship. So you have a lesser experience of the reality I see. But yeah, we're going around in circles, which is lovely. I like that. So I hope this was an interesting session. It goes deep sometimes. And for those that are looking for entertainment all the time, maybe not what you wanted. But I hope that for some people this was strike the chord or ring the bell and open some eyes, and yeah, gives you food for thought. I hope to see you back next time. Take good care, be safe, and namaste. Goodbye everyone.